Alex, at least to look at you, you're a bit of a different athlete from perhaps when you made your debut for England in 2011 against Italy. Can you talk a bit about what changes you made nutritionally or your diet in the intervening years?
Yeah, there's obviously a number of things. I think first of all, you just become more professional and more aware of, balancing your diet out and, restricting carbohydrates for me, especially around training. So I try not to eat them in the evenings, I try not to eat them on days off as much and, reintroduce them building up to a game. But I think about a year and a half, almost 2 years now, I've not eaten any wheat or dairy. I found out I was very highly intolerant to that and I cut that out of my diet gradually. And since then I've noticed quite a significant change. I feel, obviously, body comp much better, but just physically feel stronger, fitter, and I think it's had a massive improvement on me. And I used to have quite bad stomach aches, and I used to sometimes feel a bit bloated and not feel good on game day, and I always put it down to nerves. But I think it's down because I was eating so much pasta and eating so much bread and stuff, thinking I needed to eat carb for a game, and it was actually doing more harm than good for me. And so I think once I found that, I feel so much better on game day, and I think it's been a massive plus for me.
Was it difficult with your Italian heritage? Of course, I think your great-grandfather, or your grandfather, was a restaurateur in Italy and then in America. A lot of bread and a lot of pasta in that.
Yeah, I think obviously there's substitutes. There's obviously wheat-free, gluten-free pasta, and I've just been good at sticking to it. And there's some things I can't eat, and you live with that. The benefit I have from feeling so much better far outweighs the sort of short-term goodness of eating something like that. And so. Also, you have alternatives, like there's this restaurant I go in Kingston, which is bruschetta, which is a gluten-free Italian. So I can have your pasta, or you can have your pizza.
They've got something named after you, haven't they?
Yeah,
They've got a Corbisiero dish.
Yeah, I think I've been there a few too many times after a game or something. It's quite a nice treat to have.
Part of being a professional athlete, I presume, though, is making these sacrifices, and you want to be the best you can be as an England player, and it's just part of that, I guess.
Yeah, massively. Obviously, you're always striving to get better, and you always want to improve, and I think diet is very important. That the conditioners say to us, there's no substitute for a good diet. You can do all the hard work you want, but if you're not strict when no one's watching and you're at home and you're making your meals and no one's there to tell you what to eat, it's up to you to make those decisions. And I'm not going to say I'm perfect, no one is, and obviously as I get older I hope to get bigger and leaner at the same time, but it's an ever-going process, and it's part of being a sportsman. And if you want to keep to aspiring to get better, especially in this environment where we're aiming for a World Cup, I think every little percent counts, and if that helps, it helps, and I'm all for it.
Here we go. Balance it, Lord. Let's go. Let's get this. Hold it. Right. Grips. 2, 3. Tight. Set.
Conditioning obviously goes with nutrition and diet. What changes have you made from a conditioning point of view, do you think, in those last 2 years to become, as you say, a leaner athlete, but also keeping the strength?
I think we've just been smarter with our training. I think in England, London Irish club level, a lot of power endurance, a lot more functional-based fitness, which mimics a game more. For me, I find quite good. I think the watt bike is another tool, which in the week isn't too much of a heavy load on the body, but you get a hell of a blow on it, and you get a good lactic in your legs, and that's a good way to try and lean up as well. And I think it's just having a balance that you eat right, you train hard, you have your days off, you have your meals when you don't want to, and getting that balance, and it's a gradual progression.
Your bread and butter, obviously, as a prop, is a scrum there. You don't want to compromise your strength in any way. Do you feel you've been able to get the balance right, become, say, a bit leaner and quicker around the field, but also at the same time keep that core strength? I think I'm actually stronger now than I've probably ever been. I'm getting older, I'm lifting more, I'm fitter, and I think that comes with being leaner and in better shape. I think you obviously want to have weight and stuff at the scrum, but I'm probably about, from when I made my England debut, maybe 6 kilos lighter now, but that's predominantly fat, and there's a lot more muscle I probably have put on just growing up and being in the last year and turning into sort of your man years. And so as long as you're strong enough and fit enough to do it, it doesn't compromise you. Do you feel as a modern prop that mobility is important, isn't it? It's not just about the scrum nowadays. You're expected to hit breakdowns, carry the ball, those sorts of things. Yeah, massively. Set pieces your bread and butter, and and there's no substitute that, especially at test level. But we're now expected to do everything else. Guys like Mako have been outstanding with their carrying, and guys like me and Joe as well. And that's something we like to do in the loose. And as your work rate, your clean outs, you've got to get to breakdowns, get through a lot of work, and be effective on the field. And that's another measure of what we're measured by now. And so that's the modern game, and that's how it's evolving. And that's something you've got to strive to keep working on, to keep putting your hand up to be able to be in these environments. Stuart talks a lot about the importance of doing things behind the scenes, and when the curtains are closed, it's then you really make the games as a world-class team. Do you feel that things like diet and conditioning and those sorts of things and looking after your body are as part of what's being in this England squad?
Yeah, massive. I think we set core values from the start, and you know, I think the attitude and what we're aiming for in this is, you know, is to be the best, and that takes us a lot of discipline. We all work hard together as a team here, and we push ourselves and we strive, but we also have the knowledge, you know, when we're away from each other or we're at home, we're still aiming for that goal of 2015 and being the best we can. I think that's what drives this team, and that's one of the real strengths in close games. You can see it in us when, you know, guys are working for each other, guys are picking themselves back up, guys have done that extra fitness and they've got that mentality, that extra tackle, especially in our defence, which has helped us win a lot of close games. I think it's a massive strength in this squad, you know, through everyone who joined, and guys who joined just up the ante as well.